Mm, see. All right, and we are live. All right, so warm welcome to each and everyone. This is Phil from Let Us Talk It, and we'd like to welcome you to a fresh new session for today's webinar, Wednesday webinars. And we do this one regularly every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And we invite guest speakers from different parts of the world to be part of the Let Us Talk It initiative in giving back to the community through free knowledge sharing. So this initiative is created by Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So they're an IT company based in Detroit, Michigan, and they wanted to give back to the community. So this is the best way that they thought of in order to impact uh, each like every inch of the world, because word and knowledge spreads very fast, and knowledge is very valuable, and it can be in a form of corporate knowledge or passionate like knowledge out of passion and creativity, and also from the depth of the experience of each speaker who wanted to share um, every drop of their information that they have from the experience that they gone through. And for sure, someone or a group of people out there from wherever they are would be grateful to hear the messages or the informations that we are sharing. So just keep spreading the knowledge and help us impact the world as well by supporting the online videos. So you would help the guest speakers as well. So you can share or you can just spread through the word of mouth. And we only have one topic today, but this is very interesting because this is very timely. And being said, like there are a lot of graduate students this year again. So this topic is very relevant, and we will hear this one from one of the tenured and experienced professionals in the industry. And the topic that we have today is the fresh footing formula. So this is finding the right footing in the corporate world as a new joinee or fresher. And our speaker or our guest today for this topic is none other than Ankita Ahuja. We have had her guest the other Wednesdays before, and she's very willing to go back and share her knowledge and experience as well. So that help me welcome Ankita. And how are you doing today, Ankita?
I'm doing great, Phil. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I'm happy to be back on the platform. I think this is the third time that we are interacting on the platform
Yes,
on a very different topic.
yes, exactly. So it's actually great that you are still very open and willing to guest and to share your part, because like each experience and practices of every professional, like it cannot just be done in just 1 hour. So all right, so
Agreed.
we're very happy to have you here. It's a pleasure. Thank you for those who have joined, attendees. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, or you can unmute your mic, or you can put it on chat. All right. So yes, greetings from Africa. Hello, everyone. And for those who are watching live on YouTube and Facebook, you can type in your questions there, your greetings as well. We welcome that all. And yes, so for the first part of, because we invited Ankita to ask her some few questions regarding the theme or the topic that she has shared or she is interested in sharing today. So in terms of the right footing, so like can you give us, or what are the first few things like a new joinee should focus on their initial, like, first day, first month of the work?
Okay. So I have been in the corporate industry in the corporate sector for about 7 years now. Okay. So I started off in the corporate sector. I went from an admin role to a lead role. And so my journey over there actually gave me the exposure to understand what I have done from a fresher perspective and how I had, oriented the other freshers who came into the organization, basically. So the first thing that I would tell anybody who's joining a corporate, anybody joining the corporate sector, is that you get your first things first is your documentations, right? So while you have your, your HR and your recruitment people, your talent acquisition people telling you what are the documentations that you need to have in place, but I would say that get everything organized in a particular folder, because I've seen way too many freshers who are little disorganized when they come on the first day, because your first day is only to do with filling up forms, giving your documents, getting your seat allocated. All of that happens on the first day. I'm telling the absolute first day of beginning in the corporate world. So this is exactly what happens. So you have to get your entire documents in place. From a personality perspective, be fresh, be well dressed, have a smile on your face. That's a very good first thing to do, because so many of them are so nervous coming out of college or coming out of an MBA institute, that they kind of forget that, these pleasantries do matter. So have a good face on, have a positive attitude, feel fresh that you're joining a great organization, whichever organization you're joining, and get all your documents in place. Now that's your first day per se. You'll be meeting up with your team leads, you'll be meeting up with your hiring managers. Um, Always remember to greet them. And I'm telling you the basics. Why I'm telling you the basics? Because most people forget the basics. They just want to dive into the job. That will come, it'll be oriented in the first month itself, but you'll get oriented, but you need to have these basics in place. So you'll be meeting up with your team leader, you'll be meeting up with your HR business partner, that is the person in contact you will be for any HR or employee related issues. You'll be meeting up with your talent acquisition, maybe a recruiter who has recruited you, they'll be the ones greeting you. You'll meet up with the admin department, the IT security department. So these are if you are joining a mid-sized to a larger organization. So on a startup, it works a little differently. One person handles it all. But if you look at the general process in the corporate sector, I'm sure even you would have it, Phil, that you have different departments that take care of different things in the organization. So your first level is going to be meeting up with all these people, filling up their forms, getting your ID in place, your desk allocated, all of that is going to happen. And in the mid of all of this, always greet everybody you come across, meet the people whom you are coming across, whether it's the receptionist, whether it is somebody at the reception, whether it is your recruiter. Have a good smile on your face, have a positive attitude. That is your absolute first day. So don't expect something great to happen on the first day. It's basically you getting into the system. Now once you're into the system, your first 30 days is going to be your icebreaker, I would say. So many companies have a buddy system, all right? So I don't know how many actually follow it from a statistic standpoint, but I do know that there are a lot of companies who have a buddy system in place. So when you have a buddy system in place, so there is somebody who is attached to you in the first 15 to 30 days. Now that person is going to be responsible to take you around the organization, take you around the departments, get you acquainted with what is happening in what department, so that you have a broad overview. So maybe in the first 7 days, you will be acquainted with all the different departments that are there in your company, in the new company. Now, if it's a small company, you would probably meet everybody on the first day, but you will get to know them and their processes in the first week. And in the second week, you would be getting acquainted with your own team along with the first week. So it's a continuation. You'll get far more acquainted with your team. You will be assigned your job, your responsibilities, all of that. And in the first 30 days, the way you break the ice is basically to interact with everybody. We are so shy to speak with people that we forget to actually go and ask them questions, understand what they are doing. So we feel a little conscious. Okay, a lot of it's general human nature to feel conscious. So in the first 30 days, you're going to be spending your time getting acquainted with your own team members, with your team lead. And I would say, as a thumb rule, please ask questions. Okay, whatever question it may be, no question is stupid, no question is dumb. Whatever question you may have, please ask it to your team lead. uh, First flag it off with your team lead, because they are the ones who are acquainted with it the most, and then go on to your team members if there are any specific role related questions. Your any admin related questions, go on to the admin, but ask a lot of questions. Speak with people. um uh, you know Try to be proactively part of conversations. Okay, I'm sure today the organization's a little more vibrant, they are a little more welcoming, I would say. They do come and come sit with us, speak with us. We go out on a lunch together, we have a break together. Let's have it, let's catch up on a cup of coffee. Don't say no to such things. Go and be a part of it. Somebody is inviting you, let's go and have a cup of coffee in the cafeteria, let me know more about you. Go ahead, because everybody will be conscious about your time. Don't worry, nobody's going to come and tell you middle of the day that you come and let's go into the cafeteria and have a cup of coffee if it's work hours. So your first month is going to be questions, getting into the teams, making those coffee conversations. Don't forget the coffee conversations, they're so important. They are the real icebreakers for anybody joining fresh in the corporate world. And being being yourself at the end of the day. I know there'll be a lot of apprehension in our mind, in our hearts, that I'm joining this, and will I be perceived in a particular way, will I be judged, and these are general questions that kind of go around in our head. And I'm talking only purely from a fresher perspective, all right? So because people who've been in the industry a little, like a year or two, they still understand how they're supposed to move forward. But your first month, 30 days, is going to be your complete icebreaker. Right? Be a part of coffee conversations, ask a lot of questions, ensure that every documentation of yours is in place, your IDs are in place, your work desk is allocated, your laptops, your desktops are allocated to you. If there is anything amiss, go to the respective departments and ask them what is missing, tell them what is missing, and they will do the needful. So don't feel shy. I know it's a lot to soak in when we say that don't feel shy. Somebody's nature is to feel shy or be an introvert. But if someone's welcoming you, please go ahead and speak, whatever it is. Even if it is not speaking, listen, observe and listen. Your 30 days, you're speaking, asking questions, you're also observing what's happening in the organization. How are your team members? What do they do? How does your team lead behave? How does he lead? How does she lead? So it could be anybody, but you're observing. So there's a lot of observation that goes on in the first 30 days. So I would say questions, don't feel shy, be observant about what's happening around you, and have all your documents in place. So this is in a very broad sense that I can say your first 30 days should look like, because that's what I did when I went into my organizations.
Exactly. So, for you can now get some ideas right here is if your problem is being too shy. So if you want to fit in, you have to try and overcome that shyness that you have. Wow, great points, definitely. So that's for the first 30 days. So let me just say hello to Swati and Marathi. Hello from India. All right. So in terms of you mentioned in terms of like building connections and support, like there are resistant like coworkers, something like that. And then like how does that work if like one is overly shy and the others are overly resistant?
Okay, so a great question, because this is a challenge that a lot of people face. And see, in short, anything new you have a resistance. So anybody new in the team, there are times there is a resistance. I wouldn't say that it exists as much today. Maybe the typical corporate structures would still have a bit of, the closed groups that you don't want to welcome anybody, but most of the people are very welcoming today. So the way you can go about building that connection, one, of course, you have to go up to them and, hi, who, I'm so and so, I've just joined in. Introduce yourself. If they're in the first, start with your team. I'm not saying that randomly go to some other department and stand over there and tell the person, hi, I'm so and so, who are you? You will cross paths with people. Okay, it's not that you're going to be completely alienated from the organization or from other teams. You will cross paths with people. Let's start with your own team. In your own team, you will have a first round of introduction. Your manager is going to be introducing everybody to each other. Now go up to them individually, because the first level of introduction is already done. You already have that, who is he, who is she, who are they. You've already had that introduction. Now once you go up to them, um, individually, now start going up. That's how you build a connection. So building a connection is very important. Being a part of a team is very different from building a connection with the team. All right, so you go up to the team, you go up to them, you ask them, okay, so I understand, okay, this is your name, I'm so and so, where are you from? Okay, then they will maybe ask you a question back, where are you from? You give your background. I'm from so and so college, I'm from so and so institute, I've done this, I've joined as this. Bit of a 5 minute, 10-minute conversation. And in that 10-minute conversation, I would strongly suggest that if each of you are on LinkedIn, do connect on LinkedIn over there, because LinkedIn is it brings a lot of professionals together. So most of the professionals today have a LinkedIn account. So if not a LinkedIn, maybe you can exchange social media IDs. Like Instagram is the next go-to thing after LinkedIn, but preferably LinkedIn. Ask, okay, if you're LinkedIn, can we connect on LinkedIn? Exchange your numbers. I'm sure everybody will given each other's numbers, but exchange your numbers. And then it starts from there, because you need a point to break that ice. You need some common point to break that ice. How will you find that common point to break that ice? Is with this small conversation. These small conversations, these small questions will help you understand the person a little more and will help you build on the conversation. We often forget that, okay, hi, I'm Ankita, I'm from India, I do this, and that's it. There's a pause. No, then that becomes an awkward pause. Okay. So you then ask, okay, you're from here. Okay, what have you done? Where did you do it from? Where did you do your course from? Where are you from? What is it that you learned? What is it that you like to do when you're not working? So maybe they'll say, I like to play tennis, I like to go out for a walk. And then you find a common point. Oh, cool, you like to play tennis. Great, even I like to play tennis. Then you find that one common point, right? It connects, right? With everybody, you will find that one small connect. And you need to do that starting with your own team, because your own team is going to be the one who is going to be there day in, day out with you. The others will come in later on from other departments as and when. So you've at least broken this ice and established yourself in your team. And try to then, obviously, when you're speaking one on one, it becomes a little more comfortable to then start speaking in a group. You've met everybody. That's your first networking connection building activity as a fresher. Okay, so start with your team. Ask them about their, we used to tell kids, right, when we were kids, or our parents used to tell us that, when you're going and meeting somebody new in school, ask them what is their name, how old are they, which class are they, and what grade are they in. So same thing actually applies in the corporate world. We make it just so complicated. So apply the same thing in a shorter, in a more better way, and build that connection and exchange your LinkedIn IDs, please, and build on your LinkedIn, I would say. But exchange your LinkedIn IDs, exchange numbers if it has to be, and then start from there. That's a great starting point, actually. Start with your team, then extend it to the external teams.
Yes, exactly. I did the same when I got my first job. So, like, I have to like get a closer look at everyone, so I'd know how to approach them. Um, like mentioning like observation. Like, can you highlight some let's say, like cues or behaviors that would help you fit into the like company's culture and the people?
Okay, so this is subjective, Phil. Honestly,
Mhm.
it's quite dependent on the kind of organization that you're part of. So
Mhm.
I'll take my example just to
Yes.
give a reference. So when I joined say I've worked with Monster, I've worked with Eaton. So when I joined Eaton, okay, that Eaton is a bigger organization, and that was the last organization that I worked from a corporate standpoint. So when I joined Eaton, I was introduced to my team. We already had a team of 10 people, or 8 people, and we had a manager. So my observations over there, what role my observations played was that how are my team members seated? Very small but important. How are they seated? Where are they seated? What level are they at in the organization? Because you will not come to know this immediately. If nobody will tell you that this person is 2 steps senior to you, or this person is 2 steps junior than you will just know them by name. I came to know, I observed, okay, this is the level at this, what the person is doing. What are their core roles and responsibilities? Everybody gives a overview that I'm, say, if I was in recruitment, I would say that I'm taking care of corporate recruitment. Somebody tells I'm taking care of manufacturing recruitment. What are you handling in that? So I observed, after the initial conversations, that okay, in manufacturing, what all are they doing? What kind of industries are they dealing with in the manufacturing unit? What kind of people do they speak with? Similarly, it extended to everybody in my own team. And when it came to my manager, I observed her behavior, her the way she conducted herself with us. When I say conducted herself, when are we having our meetings? How is she taking the meetings? What are the things that she would always ask in a meeting? These are observations that you would want to have when you're getting oriented in an organization. And these are the observations that I'm talking about. These are minute details, but it's very good in the long run. So you come to know the pulse of the person, right? So when I say observations, it is to do with individual observations. And these are not something that you're going to sit at your desk and look at the person and, oh, this person is doing this person is doing that. No, it is going to be a like a fleeting observation that you will have. It's not going to be like a static looking at the person kind of an observation, but you will know, okay, this is the way they sit, this is how they arrange their desk, this is what they like. You would get to know it from the desk, the way they have arranged it. That they are probably very organized, some are very chaotic on their desks. Like, I had a relatively messy desk. My friend, my colleague and friend, she had a very organized desk. So we know that, okay, you can't disturb that. So obviously you can't go and mess around with that. So that is an observation. Your manager would come up to you and ask you randomly in between, how are you doing, what's the status? You know that your manager can come up anytime and ask you for status, so you know that you need to have your data in hand at any given point of time. These are observations, okay, that you need to have, from your own manager standpoint, from your team standpoint, which then eventually extends to the other cross functions that are there. You will have a cross functional interaction. It'll extend to them also then. Okay, this particular person speaks in this way. He or she is either too brash, or they are very polite. This is how they decipher stuff. So small observations is what I mean when I say be observant around your own people in the organization, and mentally make notes. Even if, okay, some people like to put everything down in pen and paper, but these are mental notes, so that you get that vibe of your team. Like, it's the way you make mental notes for your friend. Okay, she likes this, he likes this. Same thing, just don't overcomplicate it, don't get overwhelmed with it, is what I would say. So these are the observations that you need to have. Mentally make notes of everything, starting with your team and your manager.
All right, exactly. I totally agree. And well, there is something as well that you have highlighted that you wanted to talk. Like there are freshies who had like great background, so they are overly confident. So like talking about confidence versus like humility. How would you strike that kind of balance as a freshie or in your early days?
Uh, okay. Again, so subjective. Overconfidence often stems from in a college pass out, in a fresher. It often stems from the college background that you come from. Okay. So if somebody is coming from a very prestigious or in your terms, an Ivy League kind of a college, they have a bit of a air in them. So reality strikes much later. Um, Here it is very difficult to tell them that you being overconfident or a person to understand that they're being overconfident. This is a gradual exercise that they learn that this is not going to help. The real world, the corporate world, the business world is very different. It doesn't operate on me being overconfident. I need to know what I am supposed to do. Okay. And I need to be kind to everybody. Now, again, humility, being humble, being kind are personality traits, are innate traits in a person. Some people are introverted, and that's the reason why they don't talk. So they are misunderstood to being uh, having an attitude or being a snob. Okay, this person doesn't talk, but they don't understand that the person probably is an introvert. They find it difficult to have a conversation. They may have a conversation with you one on one, but not in a group. So here, striking a balance when you're getting into an organization is first, please forget that you have the degree, you know the job that you're supposed to do. Be good at that job, be confident in the job that you're supposed to do, or the responsibilities you're supposed to execute over there. But please forget your college now. Leave that at the background, because that is something that's happened, and now you're stepping into a second phase in your life. Any Like I said, it is a very personal trait, overconfidence, humility, to strike that balance. Nobody can teach you that, honestly. Nobody can teach you that. You can only learn by observation. If your manager is being humble and kind and very good at the way they speak, they are you know they are very polite in the way they speak, the converse, they make it very clear, have clear conversations. If the person is smart enough, they will understand that this is the way my manager communicates, so I also need to communicate in a certain way. So that's a very different conversation, obviously. But that striking that balance between overconfidence and humility, it's by observation. You have to first leave your college behind and come. Okay. You have to accept that you are new in a particular industry. You are as new as the next person next to you. Now there is no college competition. There is no college rat race. Now you're stepping into the corporate sector. Here, it functions very differently. People are a little more crisp. People are very straightforward, direct. They want the results. They want everything to be quantified. You need to be sure that everything is quantified as per your role. You have a clarity. If you don't have a clarity, ask your managers. But being kind, being polite with your coworkers and your manager is going to take you a very long way. It's going to be a great investment for you as a person. All right. So again, there is no textbook definition of having the thin line balance between overconfidence and humility. I'm sorry, everybody should be humble, should have that humility in them. Otherwise, and that doesn't mean that you want to be trampled upon. No, humility is not where somebody tramples upon you or runs over you and takes you, is a pushover or something. It's not like that. Uh, it's basically knowing when to actually react, when to respond, understanding how your environment is, and then fitting into the entire ecosystem. You have to accept that you have to fit into a larger ecosystem. Okay. Now your college ecosystem was a very concentrated ecosystem. You were just confined in those four walls with a few friends, with just five professors or whatever. Now it's a very different world. There is cross communication, cross functions, different personalities in managers, different styles of working. You got to start picking that up. Okay. So here, humility is going to go a long way. Overconfidence is just going to be your downfall.
That's
So,
true.
like I said, no textbook definition for this.
Exactly. I've seen some few colleagues pass before who cried um by being overconfident over a customer. So yeah, that's that's a hard way to learn, definitely. But
Exactly.
in terms of freshers, like how would you advise them to handle feedbacking? Because that's one of the hardest for the freshies. Like the
Oh, yeah.
feedbacking. So like how would you advise them?
Mm. Okay. Um, general, uh, general feel about a feedback is that it's negative. Okay. So that's the first question and a statement that crosses your mind, a thought that crosses your mind. The moment somebody mentions feedback, the first thought that crosses our mind is, oh, it's negative. Oh, something I've done. Then you start overthinking, you start becoming so scared. Over the years that I was in the corporate sector, believe me, I come from the same thought process that the moment my manager said, I have a feedback for you, I used to get so scared. I used to get so paranoid. Oh my God, I've done something that I've kind of pissed off my manager. I've kind of, overstepped on something and I did not meet my deliverable, or there's some goof up that I have done. Least realizing that maybe that feedback is a good feedback. You know, sometimes managers need to give you a good feedback in private also. Okay, it's not always in public, it will be in private as well, to make you understand why they are giving you that feedback. So when you have a feedback, so a good feedback, please be humble and accept it. Thank you, great, thank you so much for the feedback. Can you tell me any areas of improvement that I can look at, anything that I can make better? Ask these questions. If there's a negative feedback, don't feel dejected. That feedback is not on you as a person. The feedback is on the job that you have done or the responsibility that you were given. So please, you have to detach yourself in that case. So there is a job that you did not do well. I'll give you an example. In one of my stints in recruitment, there was a particular Excel sheet that I had to fill up, all right? And I was new in that organization, while I had worked for different organization, but this was a very it was my first organization in the recruitment space and a very big company. So when I had the first feedback session from my manager and from my process manager, they called me in for a feedback session. Now, 20 something me was so paranoid. And unfortunately, it was like they were very calm in explaining. Now, it also depends on how the manager is explaining to you. Sometimes managers list kind of, what did you do and why did you do this, blah, blah, blah. So, why, all of that goes on in the mind. But some managers, most of them today, are far more humble in the way they speak. Okay, so they talk very sweetly to you. So my manager told me that this is an Excel sheet that we have been working on to fill in the open positions, to put in the closed positions. What is the status of this? I gave them the status. Then they told me that in one of the positions you made a mistake. Okay, you have stated it as closed and it is not. And I was like, no. I was so surprised. I like, how? So that is the feedback that was given. That was misinformation being fed in the sheet. Maybe it skipped my mind. Maybe I kind of overlapped it with something else. But my manager could have shouted at me at that point of time. Okay, he or she, the both of them, they were two managers, they could have literally taken my case. They sat me down, they gave me this feedback that when you are assessing your closed positions, go to the tracker, go to your Excel sheet, go to the system that is there, our ATS system that is there. Please cross check everything before you feed it in and you send us the final report. Okay, very small feedback, but it scared the shit out of me, honestly. Okay, it really scared the shit out of me because my first job, first feedback. But here, what helped me was the fact that they were kind enough to tell me in a particular way. Okay, but they were not pointing fingers at me as a person. It had nothing to do with me. It was to do with the job that I had conducted. So when it comes to feedback as a fresher, one, don't feel dejected that there's a feedback. a negative feedback. Let's start with negative feedback. Don't feel dejected. There's a negative feedback. There are areas of improvement. That means, there is something that you can improve on. Don't take it personally. All right. Many people break down on the first feedback. They break down, they go into a corner, they go to the washroom, they cry or whatever, they shed a tear or so, or they feel so disheartened, oh, my heart is so heavy that I got this feedback. Don't let it cloud your judgment. Take the feedback in a positive way, in a good way, that there is something that was amiss. You just have to fix that so that next time you don't make that mistake. Don't take it personally. Don't feel dejected. Don't feel disheartened. The feedback is for you, for the job that you've conducted, not you as a person. Nobody's pointing fingers at you as a person. Okay. And there on, get this mindset that feedbacks are going to be given. It is a part and parcel of a corporate life. It is a part and parcel of everybody's life, whether you're working in the corporate, whether you're a business owner or you're a student. Feedback is part of it. Accept it, improve on it, and move on. Don't hold on to it. That's what I would say. And when it comes to a positive feedback, please be humble about it. Say thank you, accept it again very nicely. Some people are like, "Oh, okay, great, all right, it was no big deal." Don't say that. It is no big deal. It was. So when they're giving a compliment, just accept it. That's also a feedback for you. Positive feedback and negative feedback. Both of them have to be accepted in the right sense. Don't let it hurt you. Don't let negative feedbacks hurt you. As a fresher, I can understand it will hurt you, but don't let it do that to you. It's on the job. Learn from it. Please learn from the mistakes. Document whatever feedback was given. Maintain your own separate document for your feedbacks. This is what was given. This is what was amiss. This is how I'm going to rectify it. So the next time you don't do it, document your journey from day one. I would say that.
Yes, exactly. That's very true. And you always have to like change how you think about, because like impressions. Some freshies, like they believe in like first impression lasts. So when they got
Yeah.
a negative feedback, they always look to that manager that it's a very like strict or negative person. So, and it's
Yes.
hard to
Yes.
change, especially you don't meet every day, right? So
Yeah.
that's very hard to change. So you had the as a
Absolutely.
freshie, you have to change your perspective in terms of
Yes.
impressions,
Right.
because like the very first feedback is really a negative one.
Oh, I know it hurts, it's so bad, but it's okay. And it's not going to come on your first day, it'll come in probably in the first 3 months if it has to. Nobody's saying that you will get a feedback immediately. In the first 3 months to 6 months, maybe you will get your first feedback. Till that time, you're just getting acquainted to the role, understanding your roles and responsibilities. Just do the right thing over there and mingle around. So, and feedback comes in, don't take it personally.
Exactly. All right. So in terms of those knowledge covered, that was very thorough and very informative. It really comes from rich experience. So, like, we can maybe wrap it up with some few advices for freshies starting today before we take care of the questions. We have some few questions right here, actually on the chat. So we
We
will
can
read
answer
this
the
one.
questions first.
Yes. Okay. So we have here from Lilani. So I've been reading this one earlier. So, like just starting a new job and finding it difficult to adjust, especially because of uh, one of my manager is extremely strict and perfectionist. So, as an introvert, I feel anxious about her leadership style, and I'm afraid to speak up or share how I feel because I don't want to attract negative attention. So, do you think I should try to adapt and find ways to cope, or consider living or leaving in this environment continues to affect my well-being?
Ah, wow. Okay. Yes, the perfectionist and strict person. Okay. So here, Leilani, what I would say is, firstly, how long have you been in the job? Okay. If you've been in the job for, say, a year and this is still continuing, don't. Again, if you've been in the job for, say, 2 months, all right, you're still getting acquainted. I know a perfectionist manager or a strict manager can really drive you crazy because they kind of drive the entire environment. They make a little more, I would say, in today's world, toxic. But I feel even though you're an introvert, okay, somewhere you need to take us, because as an introvert it's very difficult to go and communicate what we feel. Here, one of the things that worked in my favor and my friends who were introverts was that we understood early on that we are the only ones who can make things work for ourselves. We are the only ones who can take a stand for ourselves. Nobody else is going to do that for us, and in any environment. So, here, if there is something that's bothering you about that particular manager, I would say, why don't you go and set aside a meeting? Go up to him or her, go up to her and tell her that I want to have a short conversation with you. There is something that I want to talk to you. I really like my job. If you really like your job, I really like my job, and I want to have a conversation with you. If she says, great, they will set a time for 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. And then you go and express yourself over there. That, okay, these are the things that I am feeling a little uncomfortable with. Before you do all of that, please pay attention to the fact that what is the work that you're doing. Okay, what have been your deliverables so far? Have you met your deliverables? Maybe your manager is strict as a leadership style because she wants things to be done in a particular way, and if they are not, that means there is a process that is not being followed. So have you been following a particular process in giving your deliverables, in giving your data, whatever work you're doing right now? Okay. Go, and if that is all in place, you have something to back yourself. Okay, that everything is in place from a work standpoint. It's just the way the person conducts herself or himself is strict. All right. Perfectionism is a unfortunate personality trait that very few people can change. It takes a lot of effort for a perfectionist to kind of accept that it cannot always work in this way. um, Most of the time it comes, that feedback is given from a peer to peer level, not from the down to top level, basically. Again, over here, like I said, try going having a meeting with her, speak with her that I want to speak with you about certain things. There are certain things that are bothering me, and be polite, be nice about the work that you're doing, everything that you've learned, everything that you've learned from her. With a perfectionist person or a person who's a little strict, it always helps to kind of stroke their ego a little. Okay. uh, Praise what the person is done. From a professional standpoint, I'm sure that person is very good. That's the reason why they're still in the organization. Stroke the ego, that I've learned XYZ things from you, and it's been a pleasure so far, but I have this bit of a disconnect I want to talk to you about. Then take the conversation forward and see how it is. You're not going to attract negative attention if you conduct it in the right way. All right. Now, if after having this conversation, it's going to take a while for you to get muster up the courage to have the conversation, I would say do it as soon as possible. But whenever you do, it's not going to attract negative attention on you. um Certain people, when you give them the right environment to speak with or speak in, they are accepting of what you're trying to say. Okay. um, they're not going to go easy on you. See, a perfectionist can never go on easy on any person. They want things to be done in a particular way. I work with perfectionist clients. I know that every little thing matters to them, and it kind of drives me crazy also. I just have patience, because for me, I am trying to understand what is that level of perfection that they are trying to achieve over here. Okay. um, that has been my way of conducting things. So go and have a conversation, stroke the ego, tell the person you like XYZ things about them, you've learned so and so things from your job, you really enjoy your job, and then speak that these are the three things that are causing me a little bit of a discomfort. Okay, I really want to continue, but and make it very point driven. These are the three things that I have. If you say a few things, it could be 10 things, it could be one thing. I have three things that I have in mind that I want to talk to you about. Believe me, Leilani, if you don't do this for yourself, nobody's going to do this for you. In every organization, you're going to face this issue, this backlash, this kind of a mindset. How are you going to overcome it then? So do this. Second, do you consider leaving this environment if it continues to affect my well-being? Well, yes. If after the conversation it still continues to affect your well-being and it's still mentally bothering you, maybe it's time to look out for a new job. Maybe this job is not for you. Okay. Now, I understand it's very difficult in the market today to get the right kind of job that we like and we want. So, you can probably look around, see, get a look and feel of the market. If it continues for a prolonged time, yes, please leave the organization. Then it's not going to be beneficial to you in any way. And if you think there is no learning anymore, leave it. But first, try to have this conversation, because you know what? When even if you leave now without having this conversation, you will always carry it in your mind that I wish I had that conversation with that person. And not in this organization, 3 organizations down the line, you will still have this conversation in your own head. I wish I had told this to that person at that point of time. I would have let If I had mustered up the courage then, I would have been able to speak better now. I would have been able to converse better now. So an introvert is finds it very difficult to go and have these conversations, but believe me, unfortunately in the corporate world, we need to have these hard conversations as well. So I hope this helps.
Yes, definitely. That I agree. Like a very straightforward approach, and like you'll never know if you never try. So you have to strike. All right, and we have here Ramona. I like it when you said forget the degree. I agree with this as well. So I've met many people who are very proud of their degrees and achievements, but they still struggle to get a job. Well, it's reality. Sometimes it's because they act too much like a leader and don't work well with others. So yes, and all right. Also, Ramona is sharing as a freshie. Remembered how started my first job humbly. It was a very different from the degree I earned, but the good thing is I received positive feedback from the company. Honestly, I didn't want to leave because I really like the environment. Sometimes, though, we have to move on, not because we're unhappy, but because we need to grow, learn new things, and open doors to better opportunities for our future. Yes, and that is true. So if you find your job like affecting your well-being, or it's not productive for you anymore, then yes, you are free to outgrow your current self and yeah, find a greener pasture.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to face challenges, all right? So everybody here, including me, Phil, everybody, all of us are going to face challenges in any job that we take up. We started off as freshers. We kind of acquainted ourselves in the organization. The way I conducted myself was I made an effort to go and speak with people. I also find it difficult to go and speak with people in the initial few days. I made an effort to go and do that, try to break off from my own mind, from my own apprehensions, and that's how I started building a connection within the organization. Getting negative feedback from managers was such a big setback for me, but I understood, and there were people who were there to make me understand also that it's not for you, it's for the job that you're doing. Maybe make it better. It's a difficult manager. So the perfectionist manager that you're talking about, Leilani, I have also dealt with those kind of managers, and they really do drain your energy out to a great extent. But I know that, okay, this is part of my job. I need to learn to handle these kind of people, to speak and communicate with these people as well, because it's not only here, it will be in other organizations. So you will have a clash of personalities, opinions, everything. You got to be more open minded the way you look at it. So you got to look at, like, there are 6 ways to Sunday, there are 6 sides to a cube. Every perspective is different. So you need to evaluate a few perspectives before you go and jump into the problem or react to the problem. Learn to respond to a problem. Okay, don't react to a problem. Our first thing when we get a negative feedback, I'm leaving the organization. When there is a person, when a manager is scolded you, I'm leaving the organization. That's the first reaction that comes in. Don't do that. Learn to respond. That means understand why this person is saying this. The person is not going to go off on a handle for no reason, right? Until and unless there's a backdrop to their own personal life which they are projecting on a professional space. But besides that, have those conversations and be confident to go and have those conversations. And if you think that the person or the manager is not accepting of that conversation, then you know that it's not going to change ahead also. Maybe then it's time for you to start looking around. So it
True.
applies to everybody.
It does. All right. So I hope that actually give you some light, Leilani, to maybe something to start, where to think
Thank
about
you,
it.
Ramona.
All right. And yes, going back to the pending question, like, are there some few piece of advices to a fresher, like starting maybe today, tomorrow? So, like, what are the few sentences or words that you can give them?
Okay. So first thing that I can tell you if you're joining in as a fresher, um, obviously you've studied the company. That's the reason why you're in the company. You've been interviewed, you've got the job. Um, Study the company a little more, find out what the company does furthermore, because you may have studied it according to the interview that you're giving. It may not be really relevant, but now that you have the job, understand your company and organization a little further. That's your first thing. Second, go and look at all the senior level people who are there in your organization. LinkedIn is a great way to go and look at them. Most of the people have their profiles on LinkedIn. Go and look at all the senior level people who are there in the organization. So this is like a homework for you. Okay. So it's like a homework for everybody when they're joining as a fresher. Go and make a mental note of who is who. You can kind of keep a sheet with you. You can kind of maintain a sheet if you want, that this is the person who heads sales, this is the person who heads operations, this is my CTO, this is my CXO, my CMO. Maybe a different designation in the organization that you're going to join, but go to LinkedIn and look at the profile. You will know them by name because you will eventually come to know them when you join the organization, that this person does this. But why don't you go and do your homework right at the beginning? Also look for the like manager who's going to be there in your team. Maybe you will know the manager who's going to handle you because they're the one who would have interviewed you. So go and look them up on LinkedIn. Send them a connection request right there, because if they are there, they will accept it. Most of the corporate employees, they accept their in individual and their within the team kind of connection requests. They may not publicize so much on LinkedIn and write on LinkedIn, but at least go and send them a connection request with your managers and whoever you know. So you have a senior level people that you have gotten an idea about. You have your managers. You've created a profile on LinkedIn. That's great. Now, when you're going to join your organization, always ensure that, like I said, few tips and tricks would be: keep your documentations in place. Always have a soft copy with you. If there is something that is amiss, always have a soft copy as well. Digital works the best. Um, in your first 30 days, ask questions as much as possible. Don't feel shy. It's very difficult for me to tell somebody don't feel shy because it's a personality trait again. So try not feeling shy about asking questions. Even if it is a dumb question, don't keep it in your head, because in my experience, no question is dumb if you're joining a new organization. Ask them questions about the business, ask them questions about what people do, what are their roles like. So be curious. I would say keep your curiosity hat on, because that's the way you will learn more about what you are going to do and how you can grow further. Okay. So keep this in your mind. um, Always wear a smile. uh, have a pleasant way that you're dressing, because obviously first impressions do matter. In most of the organizations you have a casual dressing, so great, have a casual dressing and all. Don't be overtly whatever, just don't be overt about your dressings, but have a good dressing attire and everything. Have your smile in place. Exchange pleasantries whenever you can. Always greet people, even if it's in the lift man, your receptionist, your reception person, admin, anybody you cross with. Good morning, good evening, good night. Always good, because that brings out your personality. This person is a warm person. You need to first figure out what kind of a person you want to be projected as. Most of the time, we want to be projected as a warm person, somebody who's approachable. So when people think you're approachable, that vibe, the energy in the conversation and in the organization changes. Okay. So keep all these things in mind. Don't feel shy to go up to your colleagues and ask them what they're doing, how they're doing, where are they from, etc., etc., like I just told you at the beginning. And you will be good to go to start as a fresher. Once you are in the organization, you will learn the tricks of the trade, you will understand what is what, and then you'll be able to proceed further. Every conversation builds on the last one. So just keep that in mind. And your degree, your college life is over. You're getting into the corporate life. It's a very different ballgame. You've been mollycoddled so far. Corporate life does not give you that cushion. You've lost the cushion. You've got to create your own cushion. Let's keep that in mind.
Yes, I agree. So if you just hold on in your achievements in your scholastic, so just get weary. You might get bullied probably in the
Yes.
corporate world
Yes.
because, like,
Yes.
experience is different. But yes, just be weary and yeah, try to like keep yourself humble at all times. All right.
Right.
So yes, we are inviting more questions or insights from our attendees or for those who are watching live before we close up today's webinar session. All right. Okay. Let's see. Yes, definitely. I agree with Ramona. I hope for those who are watching or will be watching this recorded session, help us share, spread the knowledge. So some might have the information already about this, but for those who do not have, they might be able to get or to acquire this recording or this session and learn from this. So this is very important. So we have to impact the world through sharing and spreading knowledge. All right. So yeah, everything is free, completely free. You can make use of the video. You can download it for educational purposes. So anyway, how you want it, you can do so. All right. So okay, we can wrap up today's session definitely, and we'll be inviting you again as we do this every Wednesday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. So make sure to join us next Wednesday. We'll be bringing you like new topics to discuss about and talk about. And make sure to check with our previous recorded videos as well. You can visit our website www.letustalkit.com, or you can search Let Us Talk It on social media platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn. And you can check our videos there and you can share as well. All right. So it wouldn't harm you to share such informational recordings. And you will help our guest speakers and for those who do not have the like access to paid services. All right. So thank you so much, Ankita, for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for those who have attended and for those who have watched live. So this is Phil again from Let Us Talk It team. Thank you so much, everyone. This ends today's webinar and take care as always. Goodbye for now.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.